Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. So I ended up having some unexpected free time this weekend. I did not know I was gonna be home all weekend. I don't know. Mom didn't need me, I guess. But here we are. So what do I do? Well, my initial plan was to catch up on some movies I missed, but after doing Bad Boys, I just didn't do any more. Crown Jewel happened, and I was flustered, so I laid down for a little while, and I was trying to figure out what I can do, and then finally hit me do some Doctor Who. So here we are, we're back with Doctor Who. My voice went a little weird there, didn't it? We're on the Series 3. We're starting Series 3. This is the first episode of Series 3. Smith and Jones, which refers to the character's name, Martha Jones, and of course John Smith, or the Doctor, as you call him. But yeah, so the last time we were here doing this, it was The Runaway Bride, with the first appearance of Donna Noble. She'll be back, but not yet. And so we start the episode with the opening. That's right. There's no pre-title sequence, opening scene, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing. I'm a James Bond fan. I call it a pre-title sequence. Nothing. We go into the opening credits. Sorry. And we get our David Tennant and Freema Agyeman. And my son, when we watched this for the first time, I watched this with him, he goes, "Who's Freema? Whatever you say that last name." I think it's Agyeman. I'm like, that's Martha. That's the new. So that's the companion. And it starts much like Russell likes to do by introducing the companion first. Although, I guess he kind of does that with Donna, where even in the beginning of Series 4, I think we follow her too. But so we're introduced to Martha, who was on the phone talking to various family members with the chirping in thing that was very much of the time. My friend Tim had a chirper phone. It was annoying as hell. Chirp, 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 chirp. I don't know if that's how it worked like it did on the show, where you can just talk to many different people at the time, but that's even British phone services, so who knows. She's walking down the street, she's on her way to her job, she's a doctor. When the doctor walks in front of her with his tie off and goes, "See, like that," and then walks off, and she's just very confused. So are you at first. And again, rewatching this with my son, I watched through these once before when I got the DVDs. So I watched with my son, and he's like, what was that about? I'm like, I said that for a minute. That's we find out later. That's for later. I try to remember a lot of stuff from this, but yeah. So then she goes to the hospital where she works. So what is going on with her family? There's a lot of exposition thrown in very fast. It's her brother's 21st birthday, and her mom and dad are divorced. They're arguing because her dad is bringing his new girlfriend, who is white, which is, I guess, is the problem, because they're like, "Oh no, she's to fit right in," and then she gets in the car and she's white. That's the punchline, I guess. I don't know. And yes, I should mention that Freema Agyeman was also in the Series 2 two-parter finale, and they do establish that it was her cousin. Because they do that later too with other actors like Karen Gillan and even Peter Capaldi himself. But they actually connect Capaldi, the Doctor, and Capaldi there. Capaldi's character, Callius. So, yeah. And was it Maguta Magra, whatever her name is? I don't know her name. She was on Loki, as Renslayer. She plays Tish, who is Martha's sister. And I say that because the actress is coming back along with Russell Tovey, who played Alonzo, that we'll meet later, as new characters in that War for the Land and the Sea. Why can't they just be those characters? I find it would work. All you gotta do is you have Tish working for UNIT, and Alonzo has been captured by the Sea Devils. Boom! They could be the same characters. I'm just saying. Alonzo. Anyway, so they're doing what's called rounds. If you ever watched Scrubs, you know rounds ask lots of questions about patients and stuff like that. So, when they come across the Doctor or John Smith, is this the first occurrence of the name John Smith, or did he do it before this? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched series 2, so this may be the very first occurrence of the name John Smith in the modern Who. I'm sure they did it back before this, but yeah. And of course, Martha's very confused because she just saw him out in the street, and when she mentions this, he has no memory of it. He's like, "Really? Did I? What was that all about?" Like, he can't remember, and he still got his tie on. Which, I don't know. Just then, there is a lot of rain. I think Martha does talk to her sister again, that she's coming to the hospital to meet Martha. And she's like, "How can you be walking out there in the rain?" And he's like, "It's not raining." She's like, "It's not raining." He says, "It's raining here." And that's when it all hits the fan. They end up on the moon. Yes, on the moon. On the moon. On the moon. And you can see Earth. And I did laugh because they're like, "It's real. It's real." I'm like, it's a green screen. But yeah, it's real. It's more convincing than a lot of the effects on the show. So my nose itches right now. Sorry. So the Doctor is obviously, I don't know, intrigued by this is what it is. Because he doesn't know what's going on. He does admit later that he showed up because there was some kind of thing on the hospital. So he's just walking by and he saw it. And so he stumbled into this. Right? So we get our first appearance of the Jadoon, a new species of aliens for this modern Who. And they're not villains. They're not exactly good guys either, but they're intergalactic police. So they're doing their job for the better good, but if you cross them, like there's one of the people on there try to attack them, and he's like, "Crime, assault, plead guilty," and kills him. You don't have to do that. That's how they handle it, I guess. Yes, the Jadoon are looking for a fugitive. He has escaped, and it's somehow in the hospital, disguised as a human. So I feel like maybe there are things that are filmed that are put in here wrong, because we meet the old lady who meets Mr. Stoker. Shouldn't it be Dr. Stoker, but Mr. Stoker, who was in charge of the rounds earlier, we saw him. The old lady shows up. She reveals that she is this thing, and she's going to suck his blood. And by doing that, the Jadoon will think she's human. Weird thing is, they don't scan her little henchmen, who are basically men in motorcycle helmets. They didn't have any good design for them. They're called slabs, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, so that's her way of hiding. Well, there's this scene, and then we see the Jadoon storm in and start scanning start going in and scaring people, and I'm just like, well, now us as an audience know that they're not here to hurt people. They're after this person. So wouldn't it work better if we saw them storm in and go up to people and stuff and start scanning like they're scanning for something? Like, oh, they're scanning for something. And then we see the the Mr. Stoker scene, and she shows up and is like, oh, okay, they're scanning for her. But yet they have it reversed, and it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't seem to work very well, I don't think. But, whatever. So, the Doctor and Martha are now spying on this dude, and he says, oh, they're looking for someone who's not human, which is not good news for me. And she's like, oh, right, because you're... Really? Like, she doesn't know him, she's met him, So he's not human, which, yeah, it's bad news. If they were to scan him, he would come up not human. So... Although, well, we'll talk about it when we get there. So, the Doctor tries to go into the computer files, but the Jadoon are for some reason erasing them. I'm sure they would be scanning the files, but I don't understand why they would erase them. I don't know. So Martha goes to talk to Mr. Stoker, and the lady's still in there sucking the blood out of his body, even though she doesn't take that long for the Doctor. But she's still in there. And then she runs out, or Martha runs out, and the Slavs go after her. She runs to the Doctor, and she tells him it's this old lady. So he says to distract the Jadoon. She says, how do I do that? And he kisses her. Which, yes, will start the beginning of repeat land for this character. It's one of the big criticisms when it comes to Martha, that they just did the same story really, although it doesn't go as far as it did with Rose, because Rose had 2 seasons to get used to the Doctor, although it is 2 different incarnations of the Doctor. But I don't know, it just, once it gets to series 2, Rose is very infatuated, and we go there with Martha, albeit probably not as much as Rose, but it's just redoing the same thing over again. And it gets drastically changed when we get to Donna. I'm just called her Donna, because there's no love lost there. So, I mean, they care for each other, but it's not like that. It's like what will happen later with Clara and the 11th Doctor, and then when the 11th Doctor regenerates in 12, there's a different dynamic. It goes from boy toy boyfriend to father figure. There's a change. And so, yeah, this is companions, but I'm just saying. I'm not trying to get into my spoilers, but anyway. So they scan Martha, the Jadoon scan Martha, and they find trace of non-human DNA, and later just chalk it up to facial contact with non-human DNA. And this is where I want to praise David Tennant, or the Doctor, here. Because he walks in, he finds this old lady alien that is, Cosmovore, or whatever she's called. She's using that MRI machine to try to cause an explosion that will destroy half the Earth. The side that's facing the moon, I guess. And everyone in there. But I gotta give it to the Doctor here, because he walks in and assesses the situation, then pretends to be a regular human, freaking out about, did you see those rhino people from space? Did you see them? Acting all, so that she is hold him, and she sucks his blood. However, I do want to point out, wouldn't his blood taste different than human blood? You think that different species would have different blood taste, right? It wouldn't just be that, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But no, she doesn't figure it out. Instead, right after she's done, Martha and the Jadoon come running in. And the Jadoon just think the Doctor is the escaped Cosmovore, what she's called. But Martha's like, no, no, she sucked his blood. Don't you see? She sucked his blood. So she scans the alien lady. She's like, dude, all you like, I've already been stamped or whatever. Acts like you go to a pool and you got a free thing for the day. But, or no more ice cream for you. That's your ice cream. But she scans and it comes off as non-human DNA. And then they zap her, get rid of her. And Martha's like, okay, she set this thing to explode. And they're like, we're going to leave now. They're just going to leave. And so, and apparently the oxygen on this thing is running out. I don't feel like we needed that. It just feels like something extra. Like, oh, we got to have something else coming on. If we got this explosion's going to happen, I don't think we need the oxygen level going down. It's a little too much going on. But Martha uses CPR to bring the Doctor back. I thought it was just going to be he was faking it, but no, she brings him back. I don't know how CPR brings back someone who had blood sucked out, but okay. And then he's able to reconfigure it so that it doesn't blow up. And then Jadoon send the hospital back to Earth. And one other criticism here, just a small little one, is that we see just the beginning of people noticing the hospital disappear, and then we're just in space the whole time, and we don't go back to Earth until the hospital reappears again. Why don't we, I know it's a tight little script, whatever, but why don't we spend a little time with people on Earth freaking out about the hospital being gone? Yes, the news covers it or whatever, but I don't know. And yeah, so that's the end of that. Did you do? Not gone. So then Martha reconvenes with the Doctor at the TARDIS because the Doctor uses the TARDIS to show up, and he's like, "You can go on a trip if you like." And she's like, "In space?" He's like, "Also travels through time." She goes, "It does not." And he's like, "I prove it." He gets in, he travels back, he gets in and goes somewhere where we already know, but comes back with his tie off. See? She's like, "But that was this morning." And again, though, really all he needed to do, I know she saw him, but I don't know. It would be funny, because Russell likes to do this too, where this is revealed that he just went in the TARDIS, took his tie off, and teleported, and the thing with the tie at the beginning of the episode was actually from the very last part of the episode. He travels back, does that last part of the series of series 4, actually, or maybe even this series. He travels back, does that. I don't know. It's just a thing. But he does talk about Rose. And how she's gone now. She's not dead. She's safe with the family, Yeah. Is it here we get the tease for Harold Saxon, or is it the next episode? It's one of them. Harold Saxon is the through-line clue, like Bad Wolf or Torchwood. It's Harold Saxon in this season. So keep that name in mind, okay? I don't know what that was. But anyway, so they travel in the TARDIS. She only gets one trip, he says. And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, solid episode. I think it's one of the better series openers. Because what is the series 2 opener? I'm trying to think. Is that Tooth and Claw? No. What is the series 2 opener? Is that the one where he takes her to the future Earth or something? I don't remember what that one is. Is that New Earth? I don't know. But like Rose is a good series opener. This one is, and I kind of like the opener for series 4. But I don't know. Of course, there's the 11th Hour, which is great. So, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this episode? I have no comments. Don't make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.